Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a big show coming your way tonight. Catch of the week. There is some fantastic snapper starting to enter, particularly Western Port, boys. Big calamari, stonkers on the Goulburn. It's all happening up there. And product of the week, how to catch the stonkers. We're going to give you a bit of gear, some gear of choice ads, if you like. So, a few tips. And of course, hot spots and a whole lot of other news coming this way. But ads, I've been away all week, so
and you missed a cracker of a weekend.
Did I?
Oh, you did. Saturday was a perler.
Yeah.
And we had this unbelievable mixture of reports where we saw snapper from Western Port, big calamari, and then giant trout. And I even saw, or maybe on the down low, a few Murray cod from Eildon as well.
Ooh, really? Okay, they didn't appear in the catch of the week.
No, it's just on the down low.
Trelly, what about locally for you? Like all that rain that came, it's now a week and a half ago now. Yeah. Does that still have a downflow effect along the Goulburn in Shepparton?
Yeah, we've had another flow, a bit of a downpour the last few days up there, but we've had a bit of a stocking of the local Victoria Lake in Shepparton of trout coming up to the school holidays because the school holidays are upon us, and they've been stocking some of the local lakes and bits and pieces, which has been really good. So rain's good.
When did the school holidays start?
Next week. Next week, yeah.
So maybe next Tuesday we might have a list of all the lakes that have been stocked. Because I know they're flat out stocking all those lakes right now, and we'll maybe put a list up next week. So I haven't got that quite now. But boys, the fishing, it seems, when there's an opportunity to get out, it's been pretty good, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The sun's got a bit of sting about it, or it's starting to get a bit of a sting about it.
Exactly.
Wind chill's still up a little bit, but gee, we're getting some glorious days, in amongst some rain, but some great days.
Magnificent time of year.
We're going to talk about water flows later on.
Yep.
Because Goulburn's...
Don't get me started, Dave.
Don't get you started.
Don't get me started, Dave.
Okay, plenty to talk about then. There's going to be some controversy tonight. Lots of mailbag on boat ramps too. Lots to talk about on boat ramps because there's some good news, but a bit of work to be done as well. So, but anyway, apart from that, folks, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
Now, our first snapper report for the show comes from the top end of Western Port. Have a look at this, Matt Thompson. This is a lovely fish, boys.
That's a great fish.
Hey, good looking.
Oh.
Weekend? Was that on the weekend?
It was on the weekend.
Yeah.
I reckon Matty might have been out with the next.
He was out with the next one, Callan Braid Ball.
Right.
Callan is the face of Seamaster Batteries and also former employee. But he got a pigeon pair there.
Yeah, Cal texted me on the weekend with the catch, and I caught up with him Friday night, and it was going to start to see if there was a few squid. If we could get some, we might try for a snapper. Tell you what, not bad for, we'll suck it and see.
Yeah.
It's good.
Struck out on the squid.
I tell you what, it's not only the boys catching the snapper, but also Carmen Tavares, a beautiful 75 centimetre snapper off Coronella on the weekend. Fantastic fish there too.
They're always big fish this time of year, aren't they?
Yeah.
That early run of big fish. Are they new or old, Dave?
Oh, you'd say, I mean, an old fish would be a bit more darker. It's been a dirty, wet winter.
It has.
And they'd be quite dark. So they look like new season fish.
Yeah,
we just had a full moon.
Yep,
it was 4 or 5 days ago. So quite often people say they come in on that full moon.
Yeah, well, they definitely started. Well, there's definitely some movement anyway.
Nice conditions looking at the back of that photo.
Yeah.
Absolutely, all right. It is calamari season, boys, and the big ones come out to play this time of year, and you've got to be, around those right areas where they are. And they don't breed in all parts of the bay.
Do they?
No. Well, sorry.
Not in the Murray River?
Yeah, they don't breed up in Shep.
No. All right.
Sorry,
I think it's
traditionally the bigger ones are in that fast-flowing water. So Western Port's, quite widespread from the Tyabb Bank all the way down, to San
Cat
Remo
Bay,
to where
basically,
Cat
yeah.
Bay, yeah. Whereas in Port Phillip, you generally don't get those real stonker calamari.
The Stonker
But
calamari.
can I just say that Robert Hutchinson proved us all wrong. Have a look at this off Mount Eliza.
Yeah, because
That-
Mount Eliza's not typically known as big squid territory,
Usually
is it?
catch a lot of small squid.
How good's that?
Nice one, Hutcho.
So,
Nice. Macho.
so well, boat. Well, whatever. Well done, Robert. Over in Western Port, the big calamari are around as well. Brian Rinaldi got out off San Remo, and have a look at Brian there.
He loves it.
He absolutely loves
His
it.
brother
There's
races
some,
cars, doesn't he?
and his son is a charter operator too.
All right.
Yeah, don't know about his brother, but anyway, there's a couple of decent calamari out of Western Port.
Yeah, that's
so-
right. Brian's great. He's one of the few that will actually give us a little bit of information.
Yes.
Oh.
Not just a photo.
Yeah.
so
it's a
good
bit
on you,
like-
Brian.
Well, he did actually say when he reported that in that was within 100 kilometres of San Remo.
yeah, it was
But I just call it
San Remo-ish.
Yeah, San
So it's a bit like up our way. I caught it from the third stag, but we're not going to tell you the best.
No, legit though.
Yeah.
Brian's one of the good ones.
Yeah. All right, let's talk freshwater because there's been some phenomenal
As
catches out of
How
them.
good is it?
Phenomenal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got that word twice in a row.
Nailed it.
Brown trout. Now, so we saw this on the first episode a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The brown trout population coming out of Lake Eildon
Yeah.
proper.
the wild ones.
The wild ones. Travis was
wild
on here. He
thing.
said they're wilds.
Yep.
They're wild
Have a look
hogs.
at this. Roy Kasani, a lovely brown trout out of Goffs Bay.
They're such a silver fish in Eildon proper.
Yeah.
Good
I
fish
reckon,
though.
yeah.
Well done,
Great
Roy.
fish.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Did that go with bit of
Bit of onion, tomato, and the guts, you reckon? Bit of
yeah,
lemon?
and a bit of orange rye.
Yeah.
You could smoke it if you could find a bit of paper to wrap around it and light it.
Sure, there's plenty you can find that.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Old son.
But the Keysborough Angling Club, they held a competition on the weekend and they got up to around the Goulburn River area.
I just saw the order queue. That's not a typo, is it?
No, Dave Jacobson, have a look at this. This was measured, weighed, 4.21 kilo rainbow from the Goulburn River. Have a look at that.
That's epic.
Thanks to Helen Semester for sending in these photos, by
It's
the way.
sort of something you'd see in New Zealand or
Yeah, absolutely.
Alaska or...
What's 4.21 kilos? Someone on
about 10
Facebook will
pound.
punch that into the...
No, it's about £10, I'll tell you right
Is
now.
it?
Yeah, on the old scale, about £10.
Good
pretty
fish.
good.
Absolutely.
Ken Hanna is also a member of that club, and
That's a good
well
one.
done, Kenny
Yep.
from Keysborough Angling Club.
Pity you didn't have longer arms. That's all right.
You're a harsh man, Charlie.
There's just some classic fish,
Yeah, there is.
and these were stocked. They were stocked for a purpose. We're going to see what this does to the local community later on. A bit of a video coming up,
Yep.
but it's just great to see. And well done to Ken. Have a look at this one, young Jack Smith,
Smitty?
8 pound.
Oh, Smitty.
Got
Oh,
measured
look at
in the
that.
old scale.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Smitty got a 8 pound
right.
rainbow in the Goulburn River. Isn't it good
It's the best thing,
that
Dave.
people can take their kids up and do this?
Yeah, it's the best thing.
He'll take a snap of that and he'll go, look at me, I was on TV and I'm a star
Yeah.
for the next 50 years.
Big 8 pounder.
Yeah. And lucky last, Luke Cerullo. He got a lovely rainbow trout out of the Goulburn River as well. Have a look at that.
Yeah, that's a nice fish.
Geez, they're just big, awesome fish, aren't they?
They're just nice.
Good
Now,
fish. Now,
we can't talk about it now because we're going to run out of time. They're going to yell at us in our ears. But
right, now.
words got to us today that the river is quite brown, chocolate, disgusting.
Flowing.
Did you really get an email that they're sending some environmental flow down?
I did.
All right, we'll talk about it later. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au. Go Pies!
Yeah, I wanna go fishing.
I hate it every time I see
Go the
Chloe
Pies.
Malloy.
Go the Pies.
Bloody Pies. They're in the,
I know.
they're gonna,
Pies.
who have they got this week? GWS.
So
Might as well play a practice match against the South Melbourne under 14s
May
or
as well play a
something.
practice match against the
On you,
Saints, I
Chloe.
reckon.
Saints.
Go the Pies.
Yeah.
I'm with you,
Anyway,
Chloe.
coming up next, fisheries news, including what those Stonker Trout do for the local business in the area. Next on Talking Fishing.
go the Pies.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing. know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing, and today's the day you're gonna wear the line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Fancy giving us jubes during the... What are they, jubes? Jubes during the ad break.
Thanks,
Hey,
Kim.
they're good.
Kimbo?
You're in trouble.
That's better. They last longer than 30 seconds, I can tell you.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Just before we go to the fisheries news, boys, what the Stonkers are doing for the local economy. Now, it's not cheap to buy those Stonkers. 7 tonne of trout, 2,000 trout. We've seen the photos over the last couple of weeks. They are going to last months. But what they're doing with the local economy is really, really good news. And let's have a look at a video of just what they are doing for the local economy up at Eildon.
I've got a stonker. It's one of the biggest weekends in the year. And it's not just this weekend, because they keep coming up weekend after weekend, because I don't catch them all. So everybody keeps coming up for the next probably 6 to 8 weeks just to catch these huge big rainbows. But this is just a bonus for everybody, and it's just great for the whole community.
Brings a lot of people to the area, increases business for us by tenfold. We have to put on extra staff just to cover the huge amount of people coming through. It's great for kids and for everyone in this area. It's really good.
The festival increases our business when it's been stocked by about 800% on a weekend. Everywhere's booked out, there's people up everywhere and they all eat. That's great for the whole area. Every business in the area, the towns, it's sensational.
Yeah, it's great for the area. It brings money into the town. We all get to pay the wages, keep people employed, and everything keeps ticking along. So it's really good.
The Stonkers are great!
You know Jeff the Butcher?
Well, I've been to Jeff the Butcher a number of times here at Thornton, and he's got excellent product.
Yeah.
To smoked assortment of goods, to his steaks and bits and pieces. Go on, Jeff. Go on, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, there you go. That's good. Good to know. All right, let's get into some of the news. The headline here is Citizen Scientists Tracking King George Whiting Movements. Now, this has been an ongoing project. Saltwater fishers are doing their bit to help track the movement patterns of King George Whiting in Victorian waters, thanks to a 3-year research project funded by recreational fishing licences. We know whiting enter our bays when they're only a few months old and leave again at about 4 years of age to mature and begin spawning offshore. What we don't know is how juveniles move within and between our bays up until they depart. Fisheries have tagged nearly 700 whiting. The biggest is 48 centimetres, with 60% in Port Phillip at places like Queenscliff, Geelong, St Leonards and Clifton Springs, and 40% in Western Port at Summers, Tortoise Head and Middle Spit. 39 tagged whiting have been recaptured so far, and none have moved between bays or offshore yet. So we'll talk about that in a second.
Yep.
In Western Port, one tagged whiting moved 20 kilometres from Summers to Dickies Bay in San Remo over 11 months, growing 5 centimetres from 35 to 40 centimetres. Another showed the greatest short-term movement recorded so far in the study, swimming from Summers to the Middle Spit in a bit over 3 weeks. That's 24 kilometres in 3 weeks. So this tagging program, and it's quite remarkable. Old Don Newman,
Donnie,
who's
96,
2 years away from getting a letter from the Queen.
Nice.
Donnie, I think, has had the most recaptures. But the remarkable thing is that all these fish, now when they get to 4 years of age, and there's been lots of fish that have been tagged that would now be 4 years of age.
Yep.
For some reason, they haven't been caught offshore when they go. Nobody knows where they go. Do they go to Tasmania?
Yep.
Are they going to South Australia? Are they just hanging out on Jan Juck or Gunnamatta or Torquay or whatever. No, I think we had a picture of a tagged whiting. So just for the people at home, if you do come across a whiting with that sort of tag, knock it on the head if you want or release it, but take the tag details because there's not been one that's caught interbay or offshore since the tagging out of 700 fish.
That's cool.
Do they end up sharp droppings or what? Nobody knows. Nobody knows where they go.
Interesting.
Yeah. The longest period between tagging and recapture was 16 months. The fish had grown 11 centimetres from 33 to 44. Like most recaptured fish, the whiting was caught close to where it was tagged. There's some remarkable things.
They seem to have a pretty good growth.
Oh, so that's a good growth rate.
Yeah, good growth rate. Yeah. Well, when they leave at that 4 years of age, they're up around the 40 centimetre.
Yeah. So it's going from primary school to secondary school.
Yeah.
We just don't know where secondary school is.
No, we don't know.
No. Yeah. And I mean, if you catch a fish greater than 40, it's also a great idea. I mean, if you catch a 50 centimetre, just keep the head for fisheries so they can age it properly and, do a bit of work on it. So, but it's there's a bit of missing data from this tagging program.
Yeah, so
where do they go?
How do you see that improving as far as what do we need, what does someone need to do to, do they need to net somewhere just for research, or do they need to?
But Trelly, they don't know where. They leave at 4 years of age, these big fish. They're around 40 to 42 centimetre. Yeah. They leave the bay and nobody knows. People, I mean, the experts, because they're keyboard warriors, right? They'll know. But they can't tell you. Yeah. They can't tell you. But they know.
But not even commercial fishermen will pick up on.
They haven't picked up a tagged fish.
Interesting.
So it's
basically just about getting as many tags and as many fish as possible.
And somewhere along the line,
statistics will say get to a certain point disappearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. Next one, Casting for Recovery. We showed this one last week. Casting for Recovery is a great program. It's a free fly fishing pampering weekend, retreats for people who have had breast cancer in Victoria. Fly fishing uses a whole range of body movement, especially the arms and chest, making it the perfect sport post breast cancer surgery. If you wish to participate, donate or sponsor, jump onto the website and read more about who we are and what we do and fill in the appropriate form. Now, there was one coming up shortly. It's totally booked out. They are taking names for anyone that wants to get along to that program. castingforrecovery.vic.org. castingforrecoveryvic.org.
Adam had something to say about that.
That's a great initiative, I think.
What? Trelly.
No.
Trelly.
Well.
All right. The next one, Vic Fish Kids Program. There was one on last weekend at Pakenham Lake. I saw the shots, all the photos on the Victorian Fisheries Authority's Facebook page. A great initiative by the Victorian Fisheries Authority, getting more kids out fishing. And if we've got to slide up, if we can, the next couple of events. Sunday, 6th of October, that's a couple of weeks' time. Seymour at Goulburn Park, Trelly, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Correct.
And
lovely
then the next one's in December, first weekend in December, Victoria Park Lake at Shepparton. You'll be there.
And that's going to be a cracker.
Home base.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At these two events, 200 free rods and reels are up for grabs during the day. You have to register.
Yep.
So get there nice and early. So that's that
I'll
one.
be scrutinising that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Victoria
Make
Park.
sure you stay and fish.
No one pulls up and just runs over and grabs a rod and reel and takes off in the car park without me scrutinising.
All right.
It's for kids.
It is.
It's for kids.
All right, next one. October the 20th. Put in your diary now because this is a great festival. It's the Hooked on Bellarine Festival, Port Arlington Safe Harbour. It's a free event, 10 o'clock till 4 p.m. Come and try some fresh mussels, fish and seafood. There'll be fishing clinics. You can learn fishing tips and tricks, casting competitions. There's an aquaculture hub. There's kids' activities, market stalls, food and drink park, prize draws, giveaways, live music featuring, get this, Trelly, Shy.
Shy.
You ever been to their concert?
Oh, yeah, Shy on.
No. Dallas Holden, have you ever, and Simon Towers, you ever been to their concert?
Oh, yeah, Simon,
Yeah. The Micmacs.
Yeah, I could say something about that, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, okay, so he hasn't been to Micmacs. No. And there's also some local performers as well as those international acts, like the Micmacs.
Okay.
Well, It's across the water.
New South Wales, okay.
No, no, to Bellarine.
Yeah.
It's overseas.
Oh, it is.
Makes it international. But anyway, hooked on Bellarine. There you go.
Nice.
So, lots of good news. What was the first thing we talked about?
The water.
Oh yeah, the stonkers.
This is no good.
No. So, first of all, let's talk about the stonkers, right?
Yep.
So first of all, the Eildon area probably had their biggest downfall for the year on trout opening.
Yep.
Started about Saturday lunchtime, turned everything chocolate brown, and really the fishing shut down.
It did.
Yes.
I'm not sure how last weekend went. Obviously, there was a few fish caught. But today, one of our staff, Adam, went up to the Goulburn and said visibility is about 1 metre in the Goulburn River.
Yeah. Do you have his hand under the water or on top of the water?
I think he was on top. I don't think he went under.
Yeah.
But Charlie, then we're talking about this earlier on before the show, and you go, yeah, well, I had an email about an environmental flow.
Yes, we did.
What's that?
Well, look, they had an environmental flow. The trouble is we've had an intervalley transfer which dumped a huge
That was a few months ago, though.
Yeah, a huge amount of water down the river.
Yeah.
Then we had an environmental flow which is supposed to seed the banks, which I can understand the theory, but now we've had this rainfall, which across the Goulburn Valley is reasonable. I would have thought, and I'm no expert, on wetting the banks as far as seeding and blah, blah. But now we're having another environmental flow that goes down. So I was down the river the other day and I looked down the river and what we call the riparian zone, which is that first, if you take it on an upper level, is probably 4 foot in the old scale.
Yeah.
And that could extend back probably 10 foot up the bank. There's no growth. So I don't know what an environmental flow will do after a seasonal
I'll tell you what
rain.
it'll do. It'll muddy up the waters.
Just in time for school holidays.
Just in time for the stonkers to not be caught.
I don't quite understand. I can't get it in my head as far as my knowledge. It's very limited, I know, but I'm starting to understand like reseeding and doing the stuff with it. But you've got environmental flows upon...
Reseeding what? The plants?
Reseeding the bank.
What's that mean?
It means a flow in within that period of time of year as far as plant growth, dropping seeds and reseeding the bank with an up and down flow. I understand that, right? But the problem is now we've had a natural sort of a river, a rain event that I would have thought would wet the banks, but now we're having this environmental flow. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
okay.
Anyway, I'll take it up with the next group meeting.
I'd like to read that email. Maybe we'll put that up on the show next week.
I'm not too sure if I'm making sense.
We've got to go to a break because they're yelling at us, but just a real quick question. Out of 10, how would you rate the managers of the water flow in the Goulburn River?
They've got a lot
out of 10. No,
lot of issues.
One number. One number. Out of 10.
I'd say...
Out of 10.
7.
Jesus, he's generous. Coming up next, product of the week. It's all about catching stonkers, hopefully when the water clears up. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Now, we can't have a product of the week straight after a couple of weekends of Stonker Trout and not show you what the lowdown is, can we?
You're right.
Now, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of the same as the last previous years because there is a clear winner and favourite when it comes to getting these stonking trout up on the Goulburn, and it's the old tea-tail minnow. Charlie, I want you to hold on to that one. Well, it's the tea-tail minnow. So, look, they're hard to see because they're really quite small. So we've got a slide coming up. These are a Berkeley tea-tail minnow.
Okay.
They have been easily the leading taker of Stonker Trout over the last couple of years since the Stonker Trout have been put into the Goulburn. Pink, number 1. Black and gold, number 2. Now, at the black and gold in particular, at Eildon, there is a bait fish in there that under the water gives that black and gold appearance. It's always worked. It dominates yellow belly, it dominates big trout. But I don't know what it is, Charlie. You might be able to answer this, but why do these big trout just love pink plastics? Why?
Charlie?
You're the freshwater go-to. Come on.
You got to come up with a stupid answer. I can tell. I can tell. It's going to be a stupid answer.
All these things are running through my head.
And then
And they're not fit for TV. I think it's like just that out of the ordinary thing. It's like I've never seen something pink before. I'm going to eat it.
It's strange, isn't it? They just... We'll roll with that. So pink tea-tail minnows and black and gold tea-tail minnows. Make sure you've got some.
Yeah.
Mary's just woken up
Now,
on the couch outside, Charlie.
Has it got black and gold beside it?
Anyway.
Just put it on myself.
Moving on to the next one.
Mary was asleep.
We're gonna upsize that plastic just a little bit. This is a fused doctor, but what I want to show you in particular, this is a fused doctor.
Did you make that up?
No, I didn't. 100%.
Really?
It's opposite to witch doctor.
But what I want you to focus on is the jig head at the front, designed to fish really slow in fast current.
Yep.
Because the jig head stands straight up, the plastic will stand straight up. That football style jig head will just land nicely, working on
What
the
do you
old
mean
bass.
football style?
Well, it's an oval shaped head rather than this normal bullet head that we see. The plastic sits up, and it's actually the current that'll get the tail moving.
Oh yeah,
That's why you'll see paddle tails feature a lot in the soft plastics. They work really well in fast current, so you don't need to do too much with them. You try one of these. I tell you, they're going to work. So it sits straight up. Fish them really slow in the deeper pools. If you're fishing shallower areas, we'll move on to a couple of lures that's best for. But fishing the deep pools, fish slow, fish heavy. There's nothing finesse about it. So we're fishing 1/4 ounce to 3/8 of an ounce jig heads. Really get it sitting on the bottom and just fish ultra slow in the deeper pools. We'll find when the fish are trying to acclimatise these fast flows coming out of nowhere, they're going to go and sulk at the bottom of a bridge or on a bend, something in a deeper pool. So work your plastics nice and slow, nice heavy jig head. That'll work brilliantly for them. If you're going to fish the shallower areas, because once these flows do stop and the water clears up a little bit, you're going to be able to catch fish in the shallows. Have a look at this little perler.
I like it.
This is the Carl frog.
The what?
The Carl frog. It's really cool. Bear in mind they were designed for small stream fish, so that single hook on the back, you can see on the slide there between the two blades at the end, is a very light gauge single hook. If you're going to take these up to the Goulburn and fish them on the Stonkers, and I honestly I think you should, I would be upgrading that single hook. It's a very fine gauge. I would definitely be upgrading that because they are designed for a smaller stream fish. They're a sinking lure.
You can see the tattoo on your chest.
Yeah.
They're a sinking lure. We're looking at the Carl frog.
Lunchbox. I find that those little single lures, like when you say that lure is not that hook is not probably good enough, I reckon it would be because they pierce the lips of the fish like better because they're like really fine.
Yeah, they're
a strong hook, aren't
they? Yeah, they Stonker straighten that. Though.
Yeah, they are a strong hook, but in the situation, especially in faster, shallow water, and you've got to put a lot of pressure on these fish, they will roll around and carry on. You know what these big rainbows are like? Yeah. If you've got to put a bit of pressure, it is such a light gauge hook. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't put money on it straightening on the first fish. But if you've caught a few, you'd probably opt for that heavier gauge. I would put a single though, not a treble.
Yep. And is that a floating or a sinking?
No, sinking lure. So again, in the faster water, I'd keep it in those shallows.
So what sort of action would you?
Well, it's supposed to be just a straight running lure. So those two blades, blades on the end, they will spin around. It's almost like a trout spinnerbait. Cast that up. Let it move down the run till it gets into that little undercut bit. Just let the water, the natural water flow, take it where it needs to be, and then burn it out. You've got to give it some movement. It's not a slow lure. Get into it because you've got to get those little blades flowing. But if you do end up in a wider area that's a little bit deeper, you can slow it down and let it sink, and you can hop it over the trees and branches and bits and pieces.
But always stay in contact with your...
Always. It's not a soft plastic. It's not designed to be worked like a soft plastic. Always keep it moving and move them quite quick, because without those blades going, they don't do much.
Only in the 2 colours?
No, they come in about 5 colours, I think. I just picked the 2 that I think would be really relevant to Eildon. So we've got that red one there, and then your natural sort of green frog with a gold under. And I had to put these in.
Oh, yeah.
Rapala to me just made one of the best looking lures ever in every style of lure they make, and they've just brought out a shadow wrap in a 7 centimetre, which has been, the shadow wrap's been around for a long time. They've slimmed it down, and they are just one of the sexiest little lures I've seen in a long time.
Bringing sexy back to fishing.
They definitely are, and I think they're a lure that's really going to come into its own when the water slows. Very shallow diving.
This rainbow trout pattern
just looks unbelievable.
Well, it looks like a rainbow trout.
It's as realistic to a small rainbow as you'll ever see.
That is amazing. The quality that goes in. When you think that they can't get the quality any better in a lure, it just gets better.
Yeah, that's right. They're an amazing looking
show
lure.
That one.
But I would wait for these. Wait until the water slows down.
Yeah,
and there's a bit clearer, a little bit of movement, but not really hammering. Again, up into the runs. And I'd be twitching them through those sort of those swept banks that cut in under. If you can throw that up into a run and let it sort of creep in under the willows and twitch it out just with the natural water flow, they're just going to get swallowed.
But don't be scared to use those in some of those pull runs.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Absolutely,
definitely.
Yeah, because I've experienced some of those little lures, and especially the Rapala in some of those little full runs.
Yeah,
and it's amazing where you actually catch fish.
Oh, they will sit in the shallowest, fastest bit, and they will sit behind a rock. And we saw some amazing footage at one of the trout conferences one year. The trout will sit. They'll sit behind a rock out of the flow, and they will zip out left and right. They know it's coming. They'll just zip out and they'll pick it off as it comes past.
Perfect size.
And you just twitch them out in those slow runs, or if you put them up, just keep up with the wind so that they do get a little bit of action. They are going to be really cool once the slow.
They're screaming in David's ear right now.
They are.
They are.
I can hear it too.
Just 30 seconds. If it's chocolate brown this weekend, would you switch to power bait?
Yes. So very simple. Paternoster rig in the deep water, pop it right in the middle of those holes and let it go. And if you want to fish plastic, I would actually be putting on the black and gold over the pink.
In the dirty water.
Dirty water. Work on the silhouette theory. That's where I
don't be discouraged to do it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's still good fish there. They're still waiting to eat. It's just harder for them
There
to
you go. Get up on the Stonkers this weekend. Goulburn River, there's plenty of places to go. Coming up next, Kramer's Mailbag. Plenty of it. It's all about boat ramps next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Tell you what, plenty of mailbag, boys. Let's get into it.
Go.
The first one is from Chris. Chris writes, Dear David and team. Normally we get called other things. This is Sorrento boat ramp at low tide. Let's put up the photos. I use this ramp a lot, and if there are more than four or more boats tied to the jetty, there is no place to tie up. Now this is, if people know Sorrento.
Is that the Sorrento beach?
That's Sorrento. That's the jetty at the boat ramp, right?
That's
now,
the beach.
On the left-hand side of your screen, 2 to 3 boats can tie up. On the right-hand side of the screen, 2 to 3 boats should be able to tie up, but it needs dredging.
It's the beach.
Listen to this. I contacted the Mornington Peninsula Shire to complain, and after many weeks was called by someone from the council to inform me that it does not warrant or need any works or dredging done on the ramp. Well, it's quite clear it doesn't. Not.
So is that normal? That's normally water there, not sand.
Absolutely. Now, this was a low tide. This was, there has been a pile of mulch in one of the car park bays for 2 months, and now there is no lighting as the metal pole has rusted and broken off. They just taped the end with duct tape.
Oh, duct tape fixes everything.
I know. At home. I would like to know who is in charge of managing these local ramps and why not more is done to properly maintain them. I would be happy to keep paying the annual boat ramp fees. Can you make some noise and ask why boat users have to put up with substandard facilities? Regards from Chris. Now, this is what I'm saying, boys, is that the Premier was on this show and in his boating policy, he promised 3 things: to make boating better, easier and cheaper.
And he got a wage rise today.
Yeah, maybe. But, so the cheaper thing they're working on, they're almost there. We're going to talk about that in a sec. What I'm saying is better. Nothing's better right now. And so, I've got to say, Jarla Pulford is doing everything she can to deliver on her commitments. But right now, what I feel is that the department is not delivering on the better side of things. In fact, quite often they mistake the word better for safer because they think they have to make it. But that wasn't the commitment. The commitment was to make things better. And when we've got a ramp that has got that much sand down at Sorrento, they've got to get the dredges in. Yeah. There is no chance.
To me, the most exciting part of the whole package wasn't the free boat ramps. It was the maintenance.
Yeah, well,
and getting the ramps back to being able to be used.
That's right. Because free amenities is one thing, but like you say, maintenance is a
maintenance is
can't
huge.
Use it.
There's no point.
And here's a guy, Chris, who says, "I'm happy to pay if they maintain it." We don't want to pay. We're already paying boat rego.
Chris.
Yep. So anyway, Sorrento. Do we start a pile?
Oh, I think we start what's that pile called?
A Better Boating Victoria pile.
That's right.
Do we start the pile?
Yeah.
Right. Better Boating Victoria pile.
Bloke in charge of that?
Gary.
Your mate?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, they need to get on with a few things here.
Okay,
all right, let's keep going. Nate, this is from James. G'day, David. In coming years, there will be a truly unprecedented stocking of Murray cod in Victoria's inland waterways as the native fish hatchery comes into full operation. So true. Many of these waterways that will be stocked may be similar to Eildon in that natural breeding will not contribute significantly to the population, and these waters will also be a put and take fishery where seasonal closures for Murray cod doesn't make sense. What other empowerments does the Talking Fishing panellists think should be open to cod all year? The same can be said for put and take trout rivers like the Merai. What other trout rivers does the panel think could stay open all year? Let's talk about cod first.
Wow. Good question.
Charlie, I'm certainly not an expert. Ads, I'm not sure about you, but are there other waters where you would say that that the cod don't breed that could be stocked to a level like Lake Eildon and be open all year round?
Yeah. Well, look, I'm not privy to all the science, and the science is sort of like the judge in this sort of thing. But I would like, as a thought, my thoughts only, would be possibly Nellacooty.
Yeah.
Yep. Perhaps Lake Ngambie.
Yeah.
And then there's at the Western Districts is the one that they've stocked in years to come.
Oh, the new one? Yeah.
The new one, which is...
up the road from,
the road from the other way.
Yeah.
But
Tolondo. It's the one that feeds Tolondo.
Yeah,
someone will text it through.
Yeah, so there's quite a few lakes. And again, you've got to go back through the science a little bit with taking on an opinion on this. And I'm guided by a bit of this too. But there's certainly probably 4 or 5 lakes that should come under this criteria.
Yep.
All year round cod fishing.
There you go. Something to look out for.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, good stuff.
Yep.
Thanks for that, James.
Was the trout?
James
Was there a trout?
Well, he's saying what other trout rivers
trout
could
ones.
be, be open all year round. But
it's a bit tough, the trout one, I reckon.
Because even though they stock some kind of rivers, there's also wild populations.
Yeah, that's right.
And you've got to protect them.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that.
No. All right, let's keep going. This one is from Luke. And Luke writes, I just received my marine licence renewal. The fee is $185, which is all good, I suppose. However, the problem is that it's only a 5-year licence, which makes it $37 a year. This is $9 a year more expensive than a car driver's licence. Both are a rip-off. But I say the marine licence fee is yet another example of stinging those who supposedly have the means to afford it. It's a rip-off of epic proportions. Cheers, blokes. Have a beer for me. Well, Luke, I disagree.
Cheers.
$37 a year for your marine licence.
Yeah.
I wouldn't classify $37 a year a rip-off. That's less than $1 a week. It's about 60 cents a week. Yeah. And what we're in is an era where the government has said that all that money from your marine licence will be hypothecated and put back into boat launching facilities and safety. Now, your car licence, I guess, goes back into roads and stuff like that, but your boat licence definitely is going to go back into marine infrastructure and things like that. So,
I suppose he's probably a good question. I think it's a really good question because I suppose it puts into the question of how do you get a measure on where your money goes? Like you might say, road is this. We spend a lot of money in petrol in boats.
Yeah.
So does that contribute to the maintenance of the ramps? Yeah. Yeah, well,
meant to.
I guess until we start seeing.
But the thing is, they haven't actually started doing that.
Yeah,
and
no, don't get me wrong. I agree with you. I don't own a boat, and I've paid my boat license for 5 years.
We should put a fee on kayak users.
Yeah, a kayak tax.
No, they're just a better form of people, kayakers.
Better kayak tax.
You went quiet, you said.
What are we in September?
Better form of people, he said.
Do you know? I mean, this is the thing, is that you're talking about they haven't got into maintenance yet. We're 10 months since the last election. They've had 10 months to get their act together, the Department of Transport, and get Better Boating Victoria with the right amount of staff and getting some maintenance done. And it's not happening. So anyway, it needs to keep going. We need to keep going because we're going to get yelled at, I can tell. This is from Andrew. Last night we were watching, he wrote to Queenscliff. Last night we were watching Channel 31. It was said that the Council of Queenscliff refused to abide by the State Government of Victoria to provide free ramps, and he goes on a bit about it. They write back, "Dear Mr Howard, unfortunately the information you received is incorrect. The Borough of Queenscliff shares the Victorian Government's goal of removing all parking fees at boat ramps and is in active discussions with the Victorian Government about implementing this change. As part of this change, Council wants to ensure that enough funds remain available to continue to maintain the boat ramp and meet Council's blah, blah, blah," all that sort of stuff. Andrew writes to us, "I contacted the Borough of Queenscliff via email regarding their seemingly unwillingness to abolish boat ramp fees." Now, I know that Saturday night, I think it was, there was a new Facebook page launched called Queenscliff Ramp Rage. It spread like the bushfires on the Sunshine Coast. I just got an inkling today that Queenscliff have come to the party.
Oh, about time. Well played,
Only
Queenscliff.
that's not official. I looked over the minister's shoulder and saw a text message that said Queenscliff was done. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce that yet, so I won't announce that.
No, don't do
But
that.
I did look over the minister's shoulder today.
Queenscliff boat.
It's done.
Facilities are free.
Can I just quick? They're going to yell at us, but Andy writes, "Doesn't Patterson Lakes boat ramp come under Kingston Council? If so, why haven't they abolished parking fees at Morty Alec boat ramp? Same council? No. Patterson Lakes is run by Melbourne Water. They have an agreement. The council. Well, I tell you what, if Queenscliff sign, then Kingston.
Put a bit of pressure on, won't it?
Kingston are the last ones. Who would want to be 35 out of 35?
It's a bit like the Game
Oh,
of
this is
Thrones,
another one.
isn't
So David writes, "Bayside Council today confirmed that trailer parking is only free for Bayside Council residents. Better Boating Victoria has ignored all my messages so far." Well, that's because there's no staff, not enough staff there, and it's a big job. And so what's come of light is
staff
that...
are lazy.
Oh, no. But no, what I'm
Council
saying...
staff, aren't you, really?
Yeah, what I'm saying is Bayside Council, right? They're free, but if you don't live within that area and you don't show your residence, and you've got to pay a little thing that slipped through. Anyway, absolutely getting
cheeky.
Getting yelled at. If you'd like to write into Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Rocklands Reservoir is the one that you're talking about.
Rocklands.
Thanks, Mark Ainsworth. Coming up next, hotspots. We've got to go to break. See you after this.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne.
Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for.
Hotspots, brought to you by Seamaster Batteries.
Do you know every week we get told off for not having hotspots at land-based
Land-based
destinations? Yeah.
Yep, let's give a couple.
Oh, well, we'll give one.
One.
Yeah, don't want to cave in too easily.
I'll give another one, Georgia.
Okay. Let's kick it off. The calamari are biting at Portsea. No doubt about it. The Portsea Pier.
Portsea Pier. Land-based tick.
That's, that's land-based. So down at Portsea Pier, you
They
can
get big ones too.
They do get big ones. Now, you need an incoming tide for that.
Yep.
Not the outgoing. You need to fish on the inside of the pier.
Correct. Yep.
And you either fish on the T section or about 10 metres in from the end, and just that tide running in. Beautiful spot.
Big jigs, 3 and 3.5.
Yep.
3.5 jigs.
Yep.
What colour?
Green.
Depends on the conditions.
Green.
Green. Yeah, Dave's
like
a Portsea
green.
specialist.
Like what?
Green and red.
Yeah, white always works. Yeah. Offshore, 7 metres water off Rosebud.
Not land-based.
Not land-based, no.
Take a good cast to
Be
get
up
7
over your,
metres.
be up over your neck, I can tell you if you weighed it out. Rosebud calamari. I know Tom is going to kill me for.
Oh,
giving his
yeah,
spot.
you're not going to do it to old Tom, are you?
I've done it. It's too late. It's already on the screen.
Tom.
Rosebud. Yeah, Tom's
Tom.
gonna, yeah, old Tom. Yeah, he's
a superstar.
Keep going.
yeah, but he's pushing Don's age.
Oh,
Tom,
didn't
just
know that.
quietly. Yeah.
You don't look a day over 35, Tom.
No, but anyway, Rosebud calamari, I'm telling you, 7 metres of water, find the weed beds. Over in Western Port, the capital of calamari is always the Tyab Bank. Launch at Hastings, or you can launch at Warneet, or Uringa if you can.
What's it called a tie-up bank if you can't fish at land-based? It's a bank.
Yeah, but it's a bank that's a little bit out.
Oh, when we talk banks up in our part of the country, it's like off the bank. Land-based.
Not the same bank.
Could go.
Yeah.
It's like going to the Commonwealth versus the Westpac. It's not the same league.
Not the bankers.
They're ex-bank employees, we often describe council as. Yeah. All right, now, the next one's a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah, it is. I saw this on there. I thought, oh, you got some inside
because
information here.
the fishing hasn't stopped just because the boat ramp's not there anymore, right? The boat ramp at Coronella is under construction and you can't launch there, but if you can get to Coronella to fish off it, Coronella is the next hot spot. No, well, you can
Best
launch.
place to launch? Stay?
He's sent a message.
Oh, no, I would have said Sam Remo.
Yeah.
Would have been the closest. Rill. Scotty Harp will probably tell us there's another 3 ramps within close thing that we've got no idea about. But yeah, Coronella, some good snapper around if you can get out.
Yep.
But you cannot launch at Coronella.
Yeah,
Please
not
don't
yet,
go down
not
there.
yet.
No.
Not yet.
All right, let's talk trout. Now, one of the things we haven't spoken about, we've spoken about potentially wild trout in Lake Eildon, but some of the rivers around the state are also fishing awesome. It's a great time of year to get up into the rivers. The water, it's cold.
Yep.
You know, the snow melts.
There's a bit of it.
Well, we're mid-September and there's still 1.5 metres of snow on most of the mountains at least.
Yep.
So the
They're
next
probably
hot
likely to get
spot,
another top up in the next.
yeah, the next hot spot is the Hauqua River. There are some beautiful brown trout being reported. If you go to Mansfield, you turn onto the road to Jamison.
Correct.
You'll pass over the Delatite River. Then you go around the hill.
Spot in itself.
That is a great spot in itself, but we don't want people fishing there because that's our spot. We want them to go to the Hauqua River a bit further on.
It's up over the hill and down.
Yeah, and you park on the side of the road and you wander up to the third bend, and I'm telling you, there are some beautiful brown trout on the third bend.
Land-based.
Land-based.
Yeah, it's land-based, tick.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, if you take the gun, there's a few deer around that area too. But
There is.
Another land-based one. Yeah.
All right.
Not the deer,
well.
but the next one.
All right, and we've got hopefully between now and the weekend, the water flow will just recede a little bit. There'll be no environmental flow. No environmental flow on the banks. No bankers sending water down.
We'll see.
No W bankers.
No. And the Goulburn River, Stonker Trout. Have a look at this. This is the next hotspot. Get up to the Goulburn. It should be clear on the weekend.
Yeah.
Should be clear. I mean, it's new water, so it's not like if they turn it off, the new water comes down. It clears up very, very quickly. That river can change like just like that. So. So get into those Stonker Trout because there's plenty of them. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I hope they turn the water off though. I've got the school
Pretty much
holidays
from Seymour up to Eildon.
Is it?
Yeah, well, the area we're talking about is pretty much Seymour up to Eildon.
Yeah.
As far as the Stonker Trout goes.
Yeah.
They'll move up and down.
Yeah, there you go. I was talking today, and I know I don't think we've got long to go. We've got 30 seconds to go, so I'm not even going to start on that. So I'm going to leave that one for next week. But Trelly, native fish, I know it's not cod season, but do they still bite in the rivers this time of year? I mean, are people fishing for yellow belly, for instance?
Yeah, people are sort of downsizing, little, almost unweighted with small hooks. Yellow belly, a lot like brim.
Yeah.
You got that indication on your line, you got to bang them.
Nice.
So but certainly a lot of people focus on the yellow belly fishing. All that Goulburn River, Murray, was unweighted, scrub worms, all that sort of thing.
There you go. That's it for Talking Fishing. Next week, we have got a couple of Women in Rec Fishing Network members coming into the studio.
Excellent.
Tiff and Tiffany and Nick.
Can you
not Tiff and Nick?
Can you introduce them?
No, I can't. Tiff and Nikki will be in the studio. We're going to talk about all things women in rec fishing. It's a big show for the ladies next week. So until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, God, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.